Remember Akira? That's from Japan. Remember Galaga and Mrs. Pac-Man? Remember Highlander and Highlander 2? Remember Star Trek? We certainly do. Reading Player One. Hello and welcome to Reading Player One, Episode 2. My name is Mark Loafers Laherty. I'm here with Jesse and Sam again, and I'm also here with James Wilder.
Hi, hello.
How's it going?
It's going. It has certainly been a week.
Terrible question on my part, excuse me.
The United States of America.
Yeah, we're recording this on, like, the 10th, which is either 1 or 100 days after the fascist coup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Jesse and Sam, how are you two?
Living, loving, laughing.
Great.
Triple L's.
Triple L's.
So I think we need to address why Jim is here. Specifically, what inspired you to join this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You posted on Twitter that you were going to be doing this podcast, and then I posted pointing out that one of my favorite podcasts is, in fact, the exact same premise as this podcast.
Yeah, this entire podcast has already been done. It's called 372 pages we'll never get back. It's by Connor Lestauka and Michael J. Nelson. But our one has lesbians in it.
We're the diverse 2021 version of the
reboot.
Podcast. You're basically
We're like the new Saved by the Bell reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to inform everyone I have found a list of Ready Player One podcasts.
Oh no! Oh man! This is bullshit.
You're gonna join a list. Yay!
Yay! This is like the thing that Elizabeth Sandifer was just saying. This is like, don't try to write Doctor Who from my exact political orientation. I've already kind of cleaned up here. Go clean up Tolkien or something. It's like we're wasting our fucking time here. And on that note, let's dive in, shall we?
Sounds great.
Still have the lesbians.
Yeah. So level 1. Here's a quote from Anorak's Almanac, chapter 91, verses 1 to 2. I didn't get the impression that Anorak's Almanac was a verses kind of a thing. I got the impression it was more like a diary.
Oh yeah, it's the Bible now.
It's his personal Bible. So.
Oh, cool. Okay, it's a Bible, but it's also a diary. Cool.
Yeah, I think
being human.
So, no, I'll
keep doing your thing.
Now I've cracked the seal on that voice. Let's go. Being human totally sucks most of the time. Video games are the only thing that makes life bearable. Quotes the Bible.
No, none of them.
Well, okay, I'll give Loafers this. We could do it for the quotes. Nothing else.
Okay. We can do it for those little. I almost said epigraph, which I think is very different.
Yeah,
that's the thing that you put on someone's tombstone. Oh my god! Imagine if that was like the thing on your tombstone.
Being human totally sucks. R.I.P. Dad, never forgotten.
Game over. Okay, chapter 1, apparently. Apparently the first one was chapter 0, issue 0 kind of a thing. Couldn't just call it a prologue, which aesthetics, I suppose. I was jolted awake by the sound of gunfire in one of the neighbouring stacks. I knew I probably wouldn't be able to fall back asleep, so I decided to kill the remaining hours until dawn by brushing up on a few coin-op classics. Galaga, Defender, Asteroids. These games were outdated digital dinosaurs that had become museum pieces long before I was born. But I was a gunter. Oh god, we're back. So I didn't think of them as quaint, low-res antiques. When I played the classics, I did so with a determined sort of reverence. You know, in a horny way. This is as good a time as any to pause and, like, we were saying last episodes that the stacks are kind of interesting, and, like, I haven't seen the film. So I'm unclear on like how much of that imagery is from the book and how much is Spielberg doing a Spielberg thing.
From my memory,
I didn't.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna kill you. Go ahead.
From my memory of the movie,
I wanted to.
from my memory of the movie, it was. I mean, I guess we should talk to the expert because you've also seen the movie, right, Jim?
Yeah.
And you've read the book. How would you describe the aesthetic of the movie with this specific area?
Well, I think the movie does a pretty good job of capturing, like, the general like look of the stacks, but I do think one thing that, and it seems weird to like start off by complimenting the book here,
Oh gosh.
but that the book gets better, and it's one of the things that kind of frustrates me about the book a little bit is he gets really close to doing something really interesting and then just kind of like forgets about it.
Yeah.
The book really does capture the poverty aspect of the stacks a lot better. I think
it's a little bit more whimsy in the movie, correct?
Yeah. It's it definitely feels a little more like a aw shucks community rather than this is nearly the apocalypse and capitalism has driven all of these people into meaningless existences.
Yeah, it's like the impression I'm getting here is like high rises, but they didn't even like properly build high rises. They just sort of got some caravans and some scaffolding and knocked it together, and half the time they fall down.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, like this is the thing. That is an interesting idea, but it's cool to know that it's not going anywhere.
Let's go on.
I prefers to crash into the laundry room anyway. The room smells like liquids, detergents, and fabric softener. The rest of the trailer reeked of cat piss and abject poverty.
Shit. Just like my apartment.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking, just like normal renting. I'm gonna pause here and say, Jim, I'm reading out like the whole text, but like, we're not going to put in the whole text, so if we're going a long time without jokes, that's so we don't get sued.
Okay, I was wondering, because I was about to be like, you can't like read the whole book on the podcast.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm not gonna put in the whole book. I'm probably good. If there are ways that I can seamlessly do so, then I'm gonna like chop and change the order a bit just to hammer the point home. But yeah, this is for the purposes of review, which I think is legal. No crimes here.
Have you guys read the book before? Then
No.
This is my first time. Fresh eyes.
Oh, okay.
I saw the movie in theaters, but I don't remember any of it.
I just stayed as far away from media as possible.
I love doing a podcast with someone who was absolutely not a media person. And it's just like, I saw the movie. I don't fucking remember it. You have the power to say that.
Yeah.
Our trailer wasn't as crowded as some of the other units in the stacks. It was a double wide. Plenty of room for everybody. This actually does sound like how my family used to have to live before I was around.
Yeah, this is just renting. 100%.
This is just renting.
Jesse, I don't know
100%.
what you're talking about. We don't live with 15 other people.
But we live with a lot of cat piss. A lot of cat piss.
You have a cat.
Exactly.
You have two.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the cat piss comes from.
Where do you think it's coming from?
We have two stinky boys. God.
I was just assuming you brought the cat piss in from outside. You know.
Yeah, Jessie goes out. She gets pissed on by cats. That's what she's into.
I
Forever deny.
we need to talk something like after this.
Once this episode drops, Jessie is going to like unlock her account and she's going to post a Notes app post. She's like, allegations have been made against me. So anyway, I pulled out my laptop and powered it on. It was a bulky, heavy beast, like the two cats, almost 10 years old. I'd been able to coax it back to life by replacing its system memory and reloading the Stone Age operating system. Is that a thing people do?
I think so. I'm not technically inclined enough to say yes or no.
I don't know about computers too.
Wait, I mean,
it sounds plausible.
Did you say the bit you were questioning again? Sorry.
That just like getting an old laptop that doesn't work out of a dumpster and then like replacing the quote system memory and Stone Age operating system so that it works again.
Oh, I guess I feel like I'm a dumpster diver, but I did do something similar once.
Wow!
Sorry.
So you don't have to apologize. That's cool. I'm sorry you had to, but that is pretty cool of you.
Yeah.
Wow, I love science fiction.
Thanks, Ernie.
The laptop served as my portable research library, video arcade, and home theater system. You know, it was a laptop.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain what a laptop is, Ernest.
Yes.
Its hard drive was filled with old books, movies, TV show episodes, song files, as nearly every video game made in the 20th century. I mean, I suppose that last bit is, it says something about the character, but I know what a laptop is. I booted up my emulator and selected Robotron 2084. Oh man, that's how the laptop got bricked in the first place. One of my all-time favorite games. I didn't know about that.
I was just gonna say, the last time I played on an emulator, I played Banjo-Kazooie. Just like a little memory.
Emulators.
Sorry, just a little memory.
A little Jessie memory. Yeah. Let's all share the last time we played with an emulator.
I should get into emulators. I never did. It's like, God, like, I haven't played Banjo-Kazooie, you know?
Exactly. What else are you going to play on an emulator but Banjo-Kazooie?
The last game I played on an emulator,
Ernie.
I did not play on an emulator, and do not call me Nintendo's lawyers.
So. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, actually. I'm sorry.
I don't know what an emulator is, it's true. Actually, I just said that I've never played on an emulator, and actually when I said that I wanted to get into them, I was lying. I was doing a bit. It was for the purposes of parody, and you can't prove otherwise. Playing old video games never fails to clear my head and set me at ease. If I was feeling depressed or frustrated about my lot in life, all I had to do was tap the player 1 button, and my worries would instantly slip away as my mind focused itself on the relentless pixelated onslaught on the screen in front of me. I mean, this doesn't not sound like depression. It's just using video games to ignore the rest of your life.
That's the whole, that, from my memory of the movie, which is low, I remember that it's basically like exactly that. It's escapism through this like VR/video game universe, except like it's kind of fun. It's kind of like, it's like a good time.
Cool.
The problem I'm having is that this is more relatable than I want it to be, and I feel like that's concerning.
Okay, I think that's a good topic to dive in. Oh, hi, my dog just popped in through the door.
And
yes, now she is.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Nelly. Hi. Now she's.
Everyone, welcome Nelly to the podcast.
Hi, Nelly.
Nelly, I closed the door for a reason, honey.
Nelly, what's your favorite emulator memory?
All right, sorry, she's tackling. Okay, I'm back.
Nelly fucking hates Donkey Kong 64.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear us?
Sorry, Nelly pulled my microphone out.
Oh my god!
That she just ran right through the cord, and it came out of the thing. And anyways, I'm back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's a rambunctious girl.
Oh, she's a rambunctious girl. We love those. Okay, you were going to dive into something. The depression thing about video games.
Oh, you were talking about how this was annoyingly relatable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that is a thing I also feel about this book. Especially because I think a lot of people who kind of grew up like around when this came out just don't want to remember how fandom was then too.
It's like a call out. We hate it because it represents the worst part of our teenage selves.
Yes. But one thing I think is really interesting about the book is how Wade is... It's hard to tell if the author is like self-aware about the fact that Wade is missing all of this horrible stuff going around him because of his escapism and not really fully understanding like the scope of his escapism, or if the author is so unaware that he has made this situation where he himself is as unaware as his main character, if that makes sense.
Oh, this is like a whole Pandora's box happening here.
It does seem a little bit hell yeah about depression.
Also, I had no idea his name was Wade.
Sorry, no, yeah. I just heard Sam. I didn't realize his name was Wade either.
Yeah, I don't think my brain saved that information.
Oh, he's
the player one. That's his name now. Cool.
The player one.
The player one. But yeah, I just want to say that like this.
Oh.
Yep.
What?
Oh no, I was just saying I thought it was a very interesting idea. You can go ahead. I didn't have anything to say.
Cool, thanks, Jesse. Anyway, as I was saying, as I was fucking trying to say, it's okay, we know each other. Yeah, I was just saying that like it does remind me of, having not seen the new Pixar film Soul, what frustrates me about the premise of Soul, from what I have observed from
premise of
trailers.
Because I don't know, really.
Okay. The premise of Soul seems to be that the Pixar finally has its first black main character, and then he falls down a manhole and fucking dies and turns into a cuddly little blue cartoon character, so that they can kind of knock that on the head and claim the rewards for it. But more to the point, the premise is that like this guy dies and he goes to the afterlife, but the afterlife is rendered as a liberal bureaucracy in much the same way that Inside Out renders all of psychology as a kind of liberal bureaucracy. And you know, while that has its charms, and the Pixar have proven themselves time and time again to be like very technically proficient, I have my concerns about pumping that into the eyeballs of 5-year-olds. And the reason I bring this up is because Ernest Cline seems to be similarly hell yeah about using video games and consumerism as the only spark of light in his depressing, poverty-stricken life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any question that he does not see any irony in his obsession.
It's just cool.
Yeah.
It is just
yeah, it rules.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jesse.
Just rules. Yeah, it's like you're writing a story and it's about like a post-apocalyptic world, and it's like hell yeah, they're gonna be playing video games.
Awooga! Please rate 5 stars on Amazon.
So far, it's about a 4.5 for me.
Cool. There, inside the game's 2-dimensional universe, life was simple. It's just you against the machine. Move with your left hand, shoot with your right, and try to stay alive as long as possible. For some reason, those last 2 sentences were in italics, even though it's not in a different authorial voice at all. Just thought I'd point that out. Can't turn off my editor brain. I spent a few hours blasting through wave after wave of brains, spheroids, quarks, and hulks, mainly my own brain, in my unending battle to save the last human family. Okay, I feel like he's a little bit in on the joke here.
Yeah.
But eventually my fingers started to cramp up. I burned through all of my extra lives in a matter of minutes, as my 2 least favorite words appeared on the screen. Fuck you. Does this game not have a pause button? Can he not, like, hit pause, like, fucking shake his hands out for 10 seconds? Whatever.
I don't know. A lot of old arcade ports like that. I don't know.
I actually don't.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can I just make a call out real quick because I'm really proud of us?
Sure.
No one made a inappropriate joke. Eventually, my fingers started to cramp up and I began to lose my rhythm. So I think that's really good and progressive comparatively to our last episode.
But I feel like by calling it out, you set us back. I didn't even notice it. So now I'm noticing it, and now I want to make the joke of, that's what she said. Am I right, fellas?
Amazing. Well, thanks for that. I'm gonna give ourselves a gold star.
I feel useful now because I've added like 25% like a spectrum here. So actually,
yeah,
some value.
Yeah. Oh, you bring value, Jim, and like obviously I don't mean to like actually make fun of you here in a mean way, but like as long as I have known you, I have found it funny how you, as an ace person, do not get sex jokes, and I don't mean like you don't get them. I mean like people can make them and they will go like astonishingly over your head.
Yes, that's a very, very true. To the point
God, I'm trying to think of an example of this, but like someone made a joke about like, oh, I'm going to be getting some toys if you know what I mean, and you were like, oh, like what, a Rubik's Cube? which
I think that might be the most iconic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I often take those statements like completely sincerely, and don't understand that there was supposed to be subtext. Yep.
Barely subtext, but yeah. Again, you were blessed. You were wonderful. You were a bean, as the kids say.
What kids?
Me. Anyway, I've discovered that like when I don't have a transition to go back into the text, I just do the Sonic voice. I shut down the emulator and began to browse through my video files.
Sonic voice.
Like I've been doing the Sonic voice for long enough that it's just deteriorated.
I was about to say, like, when I think of a Sonic voice, I'm thinking like, "Hey kids, don't do drugs," like that kind of thing.
You sound like Sonic after he's done drugs.
Sonic after he's done drugs. Sonic after like a rail of cocaine. But like, yeah, like when you watch the Sonic cartoon, it's kind of like, I don't know about that, Tails. Like, it's kind of like it's got the vibe of it, but they're not, like, completely overdoing it. But, like, I don't care. I'm going to be like, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Chili dogs. What, Sally?
You know, when I was a kid, I started eating chili dogs all the time because Sonic the Hedgehog was my favorite cartoon, and I wanted to be like him, so I ate lots of chili dogs.
That's incredibly valid. Did you have to shit a lot?
This is the second most iconic thing you've said today.
So good.
That is so good. That is fantastic.
I want to eat chili dogs now because Sonic likes chili dogs. What?
That is incredibly valid, but I will restate my question. Did you have to shit a lot?
I don't know. I was a child. That happened regardless.
I suppose so.
I wanted to say, did anyone else do anything because of fictional characters that they really liked? Did anyone else kind of take on a trip?
I took SpongeBob as a sincere role model for a little while. He just seemed really happy all the time.
I at age like 14 or 16 started violin lessons because an anime cat boy played the violin.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Wait, was it The Cat Returns or a different anime cat boy?
You know what? I feel like I would have had more respect if it was The Cat Returns, but no, it was. It was not. It was. I'm not even going to pronounce it correctly. It was just Shogo Chara, which does not sound like the correct pronunciation.
Oh, good.
My only thing was that my brother used to make us have pizza every Fridays because the Ninja Turtles had pizza. Like,
I mean, fair enough, right? I feel like pizza is like that. You can get away with that. That's pretty wholesome, though. Over the past 5 years, I downloaded every single movie, TV show, and cartoon mentioned in Anorak's Almanac, even the weird hentai ones. I still hadn't watched all of them yet, of course, although I had watched the hentai ones. That would probably take decades. That just seems like... Yeah, that totally sums up the fucking density of references in this text. If you watched all of them, it would take decades. I selected an episode of Family Ties, an 80s sitcom about a middle-class family living in central Ohio. Is this real?
Can you... Yeah, it is. Can you imagine living in, like, a post-apocalyptic world in the middle of extreme poverty and being like, gonna throw out my episode of Family Ties?
I mean, yeah. The only problem there is that, like, I don't know what Family Ties is, but people do throw out the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, Family Ties is a pretty important, like, sitcom in the history of sitcoms, at least in the U.S.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They...
Shows what I know.
Yeah, I think they even did, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but didn't they do, like, a live thing where they had, like, performed one of the scripts from it with, like, modern actors on TV a while back? Something
I haven't heard of that, because I haven't heard of Family Ties. Sorry.
I'm Canadian, so I only know Degrassi.
Yeah, and, like, I'm Ireland, and, like, but for all our political giving out, we do it kind of, like, we're kind of in England's orbit, so, like, I know more Only Fools and Horses and the Vicar of Dibley and Blackadder.
Blackadder.
Yeah, that shit fucking banged. That was incredible. They are. I have heard that they are trying to bring it back. That Richard Curtis is writing like a modern day one, which negative marks, where Blackadder is a college professor who gives out about millennials. Infinite negative marks.
Yeah, that it doesn't.
Also,
it doesn't sound great.
Just to put a T on this for a second, Sam's headphones did actually break, so I'm going to go get them another pair.
Oh,
okay.
Do that.
Let's just stall for time by talking about Blackadder.
That sounds great.
But just as a pitch for a sitcom, that doesn't sound fantastic. That just sounds like an old man having a bit of a go, you know? And
yeah.
And, like, the chaos in the background. And, fucking... yeah, but just the thing of, like, the rationale that Richard Curtis gave for it is that when they were younger, they were to show that, in his words, was young people giving out about old people. And now he says that now that he's an old person, he's going to write a new season where as an old person, he's giving out about young people. But, first of all, that doesn't really follow. You can't just do the opposite of the thing and then act like that's continuity. And second, I always felt that Blackadder, you know, I'm not going to act like it's a very fucking complicated satire, but it was always straightforwardly making fun of rich and powerful idiots.
Yes. Yeah.
There's the thing where each Blackadder gets more smart but less powerful. That's all I got. So how are you?
I looked it up. I got it wrong. So I don't feel bad because the names are super similar. The thing I was thinking of was there was ABC did a live, like, refilmed version of episodes of All in the Family, not Family Ties, which I think I can be excused. But
yeah. Put away your pitchforks, folks. Oh,
why
hello,
were we
Sam's back.
All in the Family and Family Ties?
It's in the book. Everything's in the book.
Listen, I wasn't reading the book because my headphones broke in half for no reason.
Okay, very valid. Very valid.
Yeah, so I went over and I said, yeah, we were just talking about Family Ties, to which Sam said, what's Family Ties? So, I think 3 out of 4 of us are not highly versed in Family Ties.
I think that's fair because I don't think it's a good show, but it wasn't good.
Oh, that's incredible. So, Family Ties is not the thing that you were thinking of where it got refilmed, but it does in fact exist.
Yes, and it still was one of those, like, seminal sitcoms.
Is that why Family Guy is called Family Guy?
Oh, what?
Wow.
Whoa.
Unlocked something.
Because we've unlocked the secret arcane knowledge. We've expanded our minds.
I told you, Ready Player One's gonna change us as people. I said that in the first episode.
That's true.
I mean, I'm learning things. I'll give you that, because like the whole thing with Family Guy, and like it's easy to forget this because it's just sort of bad now, and maybe always was. But like it is kind of trying to take the piss out of what sitcoms were back in the 80s and 90s, where it's kind of like about wholesome families. The poetry of the theme song. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. What did happen to those good old family values on which we used to rely? Lucky, there's a Family Guy, and he's coming up next.
I love this spoken word Family Guy.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're 3 pages into chapter 1, I think, or 4.
Well, it's okay, because this podcast is fucking pointless anyway. Shoot me in the head. Sitting alone in the dark, I watched the show on my laptop. I always found myself imagining that I lived in that warm, well-lit house. Okay, he knows what he's doing at this point.
I also find this, like, painfully relatable. It's like I guess none of my friends are available. Maybe they're just, they're just all busy. Yeah, so I guess I'll go watch something on Netflix that has people in it, so I don't feel alone. Like, I don't know.
Fair. Me as a teenager, I used to watch Let's Players, like videos where they would play with their friends because I had no friends.
Oh my god!
I have
just
friends
brutal.
growing up, so I don't relate to this.
Well, thank you all for coming on my comedy podcast.
Anyone want to talk about some trauma?
Cool. We need some time for this tragedy, please.
I can start talking about my mom if you guys want.
Oh no.
I'm gonna bonk you on the head.
Like a whack-a-mole.
Those smiling, underrepresented people were my family. That there was nothing so wrong in the world that we couldn't sort it out by the end of a single half-hour episode. Aww. Or maybe a 2-parter if it was something really serious. My own home life has never been even remotely resembles the one depicted in Family Ties, which was probably why I loved the show so much. I was the only child of 2 teenagers, both refugees who's met in the stacks where I was growing up. I don't remember my father. This is a real fucking downer. When I was just a...
I want the fun video game!
Mario!
Oh my god. When I was just a few months old, he was shot dead while looting a grocery store during a power blackout.
Born in 2020? Is he okay?
Oh my god. The only thing I really knew about him was that he loves comic books. I'd found several old flash drives in a box of his things, containing complete runs of The Amazing Spider-Man, The X-Men, and Green Lantern. God damn it. My mom once told me that my dad had given me an alliterative name, Wade Watts, because he thought it sounded like the secret identity of a superhero, like Peter Parker or Clark Kent. You know, the shit that Stan Lee just did so that he could remember the names. Knowing that made me think he must have been a cool guy for some reason. Even though it's evidence directly to the contrary. Despite how he's died, losing a grocery store to feed your family, that's pretty lame. That's cringe, bro. But naming your son Wade Watts because it sounds like a Stan Lee character name, that's cool. My mother, Loretta, had raised me on her own. We lived in a small RV in another part of I'm gonna dial it back. In another part of the stacks. She has 2 full-time Oasis jobs. One as a telemarketer, the other as an escort to in an online brothel.
Oh,
is going to be weird about this. It's Ernest. Did you just say mommy?
No.
I'm just imagining like Second Life, like the
big Second Life vibes of all this.
Like a Second Life brothel. That's exactly where my brain is right now. Like I know this is
but I mean that
This is really depressing.
This is really depressing, and also like I'm wondering how this online brothel stuff is going to go, considering Ernest is married to a feminist scholar.
Yeah.
Jim, would you call this book in particularly a feminist work?
No.
Interesting. I mean, you've got to wonder how the wife feels about it. You've got to wonder. Anyway, the online brothel mommy used to make me wear earplugs at night so I wouldn't hear her in the next room. Okay, this is hideous. Talking dirty to tricks in other time zones. But the earplugs didn't work very well, so I would watch old movies instead, with the volume turned way up. What old movies were they be? Jim, what old movie was it?
That he was watching?
Yeah.
Are you expecting me to like remember this piece of obscure trivia?
No, I was just setting you up for a joke, but fuck me, I guess.
Die Hard.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Look, this book lists nearly everything that he watched, so that he
That's
didn't.
true.
Like,
I
Where are the footnotes?
I really thought that there was like, oh yeah, I was watching, the 1980 classic. This.
Yeah. No.
Watching Others at 2 years old. My mom turned tricks in the other room.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I forgot how depressing this book is.
Is this just like this one chapter, or is this the tone?
It's not the tone of the whole book, because when you get into the actual online escapism part, it's very different.
Chat, yeah.
But kind of just any time he goes back into the real world, it's terrible.
It's hideous.
Cool. Great for our comedy podcast.
Relatable.
I'll be curious what you guys think as you go through it, because I'm still not sure how intentional the potential social commentary of the book is.
I'm getting the impression that he has an idea here, but it hasn't been cooked through at all. He just kind of ran over it with a blowtorch.
That very well could be it. Because there is more, and there's stuff you could definitely say about it, but it's also like, how much of it was like finished thinking through there.
I was just gonna say we aren't really doing a particularly like normal reading of this, how it's supposed to be read. For most people, they would have gone through this first part in like 20 minutes and not thought too much about it. Just like, he's in a lucky situation, and then it's like fun video game time.
That's true.
With ADHD, no. This is exactly how I would be reading this book if I were by myself.
Yeah, I
completely the Googling and Wikipedia reading that I've been doing, where I now know some of the characters that I didn't know before.
Cool.
Yeah. I would listen to the version of this, which was narrated by Will Wheaton, and he kind of disguises the quality of the prose a bit, because Will Wheaton just is a pretty good narrator.
Yeah. But it's not great.
It's not the best thing I've ever read. To be fair, we are also reading from an uncorrected proof, so maybe it's so much better.
No, we're not. No, we're not. I don't. No crimes. No crimes here.
No crimes. No, I'm not a criminal.
I'm reading from my local library. Support your local libraries.
Support your local libraries.
Support your local libraries. Yeah, but, like, I feel like it's quite possible that, like, the question of... It might arise from the question of, I want this to be a book where everyone's hanging out in this virtual reality video game thing. Why is everyone hanging out in this virtual reality video game thing? And the answer is because real world has driven them away.
Yeah.
And there has to be reasons for that. So I feel like it arises from there, and then he kind of draws on some tropes. And, like, from there, I think, like, it must have occurred to him that this is politics. But I think it's kind of like...
I don't think it's the main part.
An explanation for why everyone's in a video game.
Yeah, also a street white guy, so, like...
Uh-huh.
Don't underestimate our Ernie.
Don't underestimate our Ernie!
I definitely think that this is... You're right, Loafers. It's supposed to be more so, like, an explanation... comparatively to a whole, like, whoa, look at this, think about it. It's more like, okay, this is why let's get to where we get to kiss Sonic.
Yeah, that's what happens in Chapter 7. From that moment on, I was more or less raised by the Oasis interactive educational programs, like Sonic Says, which any kid could access for free. I spent a big chunk of my childhood hanging out in virtual reality simulations of Sesame Street. Honestly... cool. Singing songs with friendly Muppets and playing interactive games that taught me how to walk, talk, add, subtract, read, write, and share. Once I'd mastered these skills, it didn't take me long to discover... I mean, do you master writing? It didn't take me long to discover that the Oasis was also the world's biggest public library. Support your local library. Where even a penniless kid like me had access to every book ever written. That's interesting. So, like, everyone has... How does that work? Whatever.
It's like the
every song
of libraries.
It's like the Internet Archive, but, like, to the max.
Yeah, I was just thinking, don't tell Chuck.
Yeah,
every song ever recorded, and every movie, television show, video game, and piece of artwork ever created. Okay, so, like, this, our Oasis Willy Wonka guy really does have a monopoly, right?
Oh, yeah. It's, yeah.
He's the
yeah, this goes some way towards explaining why he has $240 billion. But gaining access to all of that information turned out to be something of a mixed blessing, because that was I found out the truth. Nailed it. So, we're at a little section break here. How are we feeling?
I'm just thinking about how if I had access to every single piece of media in the world, I would still only listen to Taylor Swift and rewatch episodes of Community.
I mean, we know this for a fact.
Yeah, because it's what I do.
Jim, how are you finding this as an expert?
You know, it is interesting going through it again with, like, some hindsight. You know, it's funny. I feel like Mr. Klein here, I feel more and more that his heart was really in the right place with this book. But he could not, he had trouble cashing the checks of his heart.
Trouble cashing the checks of his heart.
That's good. That's
okay.
Very, very good.
Okay, so I've had a little look around. We have read 3 pages, as there are 11 pages left in this chapter. So maybe we'll draw a line under this for now.
Oh, yeah, I just looked it up. Jeff Bezos has a net worth of $185 billion.
Son of a bitch! I hate the world so much! I love science fiction. You know, I just realized that when I say I love science fiction, I'm complaining that this is insufficiently escapist, and, like, it doesn't that just, like, underline the whole point? Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I mean, it's painfully not too far off there.
Yeah. Oh, Elon overtook. What's Elon's net worth?
194 billion. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you know, just an unimaginable amount of, you know.
Yep. Like, I don't know what $1 billion is. I can't count. So
A bunch of millions.
So, Jesse, final thoughts.
I'm thinking how much closer we're getting to when we can play like asteroids on an emulator, and I think that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure we can, right?
Next question.
Okay. Sam, final thoughts.
I'm depressed about this character, and I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? Is he gonna get
He's gonna
okay?
play a video game and say some trivia.
He's gonna kiss Sonic.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait for him to kiss Sonic and find true happiness.
Yeah. Also,
if he doesn't, I'm gonna throw this book in the trash.
Not to be a smartass, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make $240 billion. None of the systemic issues are going to be addressed, and it's going to have a happy ending.
I guess we'll see next episode.
I highly doubt that's gonna happen.
Jim, just to touch base with you again, I know I kind of just asked you this question, but yeah.
I guess my final thoughts then are, first off, I hope you guys have success in getting through the first chapter. Thank you for
we're such professionals.
For like 4 pages or whatever it was. I am also I'm interested in reading now Ready Player 2, the sequel.
There's another one?
Yes, there is.
It just came out it kind of got swept up in the fact that like life is hell. So I don't think like a lot of people noticed because of everything that happens ever. But
everything happens so much.
Yes. But yeah, there's a Ready Player 2 that came out in like November of last year. And I am curious just like what his own hindsight is on all of this now. Like where he goes from how he thought about all of this stuff back in like 2000 whenever this came out.
2011, I believe.
Oh wow, so like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I kind of wasn't like thinking I'd read it, but I guess I might, for better or for worse now.
I'm not committing to anything, but that's kind of an obvious place for us to go next if we make it to the end of the book, or indeed to the end of this first chapter.
We'll see.
We will see.
Just read the first chapter of a bunch of books. That's your new podcast.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm filing that away. Okay, I'm filing that away as like a potential pivot. All I have to do is like do a little thing where like the first 2 episodes are called Reading Player 1, and then like on episode 3 or whatever I switch it out and it's like Reading Chapter 1. Is the plan all along.
Actually, then we wouldn't be copying another person's podcast idea. But also, I am very interested to see where this book goes. I'm actually having a lot of fun.
I think we're in it for the long run on this one. We'll get back to you with the decision.
When I first read this book, I remember my reaction to it was something like kind of annoyance that I actually did enjoy parts of it as much as I did.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, there's parts of it that you're gonna... Yeah, there's parts of it you're gonna read, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is bad. This is really bad. Yeah. And then you're going to read other parts. You'll be like, wow, this is cool. And by the end, you're just going to really wish he had a better editor.
Yeah, that's it. And like, it's a bit like how I, for a thing, not a work thing, but for a thing, have been rewatching Richard and Mortimer, which is a television show that I have like gone on themarysue.com to decry in an article called No Really, Rick and Morty is Bad. An article that got 500 angry comments, and like over a year later, I have gone back to this thing for the purposes of like making fun of Rick and Morty and annoying people, to my annoyance, I'm laughing at some of the jokes. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I do remember genuinely, like, I don't remember a lot of the storyline of the movie, but I do remember enjoying it because it was so over the top with its fan service that you can't help but kind of get some enjoyment from, like, yeah, I got that.
Okay, but you like bad movies. You like Cats the movie. Like, you are not a judge for this. Because
I feel like I should have had this context going in.
Yeah, perhaps. Like, yeah. I don't know if Sam just said it, but because, like, it got a bit muffled for me, but Jesse's favorite movie is Strange Magic.
Yeah, I did not say that one, but yes, that is my wife's favorite.
And Strange Magic, for those of you who don't know, is a George Lucas produced jukebox musical where the entire premise is that it's a fairy tale where they just slam in as many fucking pop songs as they can, regardless of whether it really works.
Musicals.
I am, I've kind of wanted to see that out of, like, morbid curiosity.
No! Heck yeah!
Okay, let us know in the comments above if you want us, me, Sam, Jesse, and Jim to do an episode where we watch Strange Magic.
There we go.
Cool. And you can all say yeah, and then I'll ask Jim, and Jim will be like, no, fuck off, and I'll be like, okay, Jim, sorry, and then it won't happen. Cool. Well, on that note...
I love the Super Mario Brothers movie, so...
That's a good movie.
You're not the first person I've heard saying that. I was watching Sarah Marie Griffin's Twitch stream last night. Last night as we record. She's an Irish writer. I like her Twitch very much. It's kind of small. It's got a pirate radio vibe. And, she was also saying that movie fucking rules because it's weird and it's got Dennis Hopper as Bowser giving basically the same performance as he did in Blue Velvet. And, like, I can see the appeal of that. And it's about gentrification, right?
Yeah, the main villain is, I'd go farther. The main villain is blatantly Dennis Hopper playing Donald Trump.
Oh, that's a take.
Oh, no, this isn't like, we were talking about, like, subtext and text? Like, just go look at the picture of his character and, like, the hair and the suit. It's...
Oh my god. I feel like this should have permeated the cultural consciousness more.
It really should.
He's President
Super
Koopa.
Mario Bros. Movie. He's President Koopa? When did this movie come out?
I know, it is aged like a very strange but fine wine.
I know.
It's aged like a fine wine that happens to suck. Wow, yeah, that's Trump.
Yeah, right?
Damn. There's Trump and there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, man.
I haven't watched that movie for like 4 years, so I'm very much ready to rewatch that probably tonight. I've been inspired.
Oh, my God. Okay, adding that to the list. If you want a Strange Magic episode, let us know. If you want a Super Mario Brothers episode, let us know. It'll just be like a special.
I've never seen Heathers.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, hell yeah.
I haven't seen it either, so it'll just be a blind watch through for me.
Also, apparently, President Koopa's first spoken lines in the Super Mario movie are, "Where's that rock?" And I have no idea what the context is, but I do enjoy it.
Cool.
Yes.
On that bombshell, I'm gonna try to move in the direction of wrapping this shit up. No, it's okay. The theme tune, which I have not actually arranged yet, but the plan is for me to arrange a joke song about Ready Player One that was originally written by Demi Adejuyigbe. Sorry to be a bit deliberate in that pronunciation. Yeah, he's a writer for The Good Place, and he's cool. You can find me on marklaherty.wordpress.com. That is marklaherty.wordpress.com. You can also find my fiction writing in Quedge Down the Middle. That is CWEJ Down the Middle, which is from Archbeetle Press, which is Jim's publishing house. I co-wrote one of the short stories, short in inverted commas. And also you could... Yeah, it's a novella. It took a little while. And the Patreon, my Patreon, is patreon.com/loafers, which as in the shoe. And you can support me there in doing writing and podcasts and generally annoying my friends. And you can also find me on Twitter at Loafers Writes, Loafers as in the shoe, Writes as in the verb. Jim, where can we find you?
You can find me at jameswylder.com. That's Wilder with a Y.
Cool. Wow.
And my name's Justine Reese, and don't look for me.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're Jesse and Sam, and we're enigmas. So don't try to find me.
We need to come up with a sign-off. We still haven't sorted that out. I'm thinking something like, save and quit. How about that?
GG, everybody.
GG. Yeah, I like that. GG, everybody.
Oh, that was our last one, which is we love you so much.
We love you so much.
We love you so much.
We love you
We
so
love you
much.
so much.
We love you.
You're very special. We love you so much. You're very special.
That's the comment I made last week. We had to cut out because it was too soon.
Stop.
Yeah. But by the time it gets out, like Trump's off Twitter. He's depowered now. It's not going to be too soon by the time it comes out. I have decided.
He's off Twitter.
He's off Twitter. Okay, I'm sorry, but like we're 10 minutes into the outro, so I'm gonna have to shoot you all in the head now. GG, everybody.
I'm turning my recording off. We love you.
Bye.
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 Remember Akira? That's from Japan. Remember Galaga and Mrs. Pac-Man? Remember Highlander and Highlander 2? Remember Star Trek? We certainly do. Reading Player 1.